Okay, I'm back. So as I was painting this, I realized that I did not have a phthalo blue, and I did not have any kind of a turquoise color in here to make the blue water with. So I stopped what I was doing. And this is why you practice before you ever go out on location. So I changed and added Daniel Smith Amazonite, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous. It's a green, but if we mix that with the cerulean, we should get a really nice turquoise. And as you can see, we do. And so we'll have it a little bit darker over here and a little bit lighter here. Okay. So we'll start at the horizon line. It's a bit darker. I should have wet this first and I didn't. So let's make this watery here. Just a nice light wash. And it's looking like it's darker toward the underneath the islands, which makes sense. And then it gets lighter. Oop, don't want that. As we come along here and come along the shoreline. And there's some watery places in here where the water's glistening. So we will skip around a little bit and leave some highlighted areas in there. And soften our beach, which is going to be basically, it is white sand. So to make the white sand, I'm just going to take a little bit of maybe this Quin Gold, too yellow. Well, it may dry light enough just to give us a tint to the sand. I don't like leaving large portions of my painting with just the white paper. I don't know why I don't like that, because it is watercolor and you know, you're supposed to leave whites, but I just don't look. And don't do it with a dirt. Don't clean it off with a dirty paper towel either. So now, if you were doing this out in the field, you probably, hopefully, you would be near a table if you were lucky, a picnic table or something, so that you could set your stuff down on it, which would make life much easier than balancing all these things. And that's why a lot of people use pochade boxes. Because, you know what? I think that's part of that mountain. So I think, what do I have for green? I have a sap green there. That's a nice green. Let's go back in and do this mountain again. Much darker this time. Because that's a very green mountain right there, even though it's in the distance. And I think it actually came up like that. So I didn't have that quite right. And that is darker at the bottom of the mountain. Always paying attention to your values in your painting, and if you're painting on location, it's much easier to see your values. Now this one is really dark over here. So we're going to add a little bit of Payne's Gray to that green, just darken that. So it kind of comes down just a little bit darker. That should be grayer in the background and softer, but that is how it looks. So We'll leave it like that for right now. Okay, and you can see our green is actually bleeding into the water here, which is fine because there should be some kind of a shadow there, even though that's not very apparent on the photo. Remembering that this is just a loose practice. It's not a anything that's meant to be a finished painting. There's a little bit of gradue or things that have washed in along the beach here. So we'll kind of put a little bit of that in there and then immediately soften that so we don't get a hard edge. And you don't want your sand just to be one color anyway. Of course, we're going to put the shadows in of the palms as we go along. All right, so I'm going to drop some more of this bright bluey green in the water. The waters in the Caribbean are amazingly clear and beautiful. Truly spectacular. Okay. And the blue in the sky of this photograph is amazingly bright. So I don't know if we're going to add that. I think I kind of like how, let's just do some rough marks in there. We don't want to do too much with that. We sure don't want a hard line there. All right. I think I am going to do the sky again, simply because this sky is so blue in this photograph. It doesn't even look real. I'm sure they've edited this photo for sky to be that blue, but we'll go ahead and put another layer of blue in there just to balance out the painting. And I think I'll water it first again. Add a little bit of water. And paint around what might resemble clouds. Then we will wet this so we don't have any hard edges. So as you're practicing in your studio, you'll realize that you have certain things that you don't have in your Plein Air kit that you need. And that's when so this is like a trial run, I guess, a practice run. Because really, like right now I'm realizing in this small kit, I need a larger brush than a number 8. Because those water brushes just aren't large enough. So I will adjust that by putting a larger brush in there. And I noticed right down here, it's almost like there's a little land mass out here that's quite blue right there. And you know, this did not go, so we're going to kind of drop that in as well, just in here. And then soften that, just to get some variations in there. And let that bleed back a little bit. Okay, I like that sky better. All right, so it's probably time to start dropping in the palm trees. So I will make up some greens here. Now I have several greens on this particular palette because this, of course, is a Plein Air palette, and since you are painting with in nature, it's nice to have some convenience greens so that you don't have to stop and make up all your greens, which normally I do. Normally I make my own greens. However, when you're outside and you're trying to do a quick sketch, it's a lot easier sometimes to just go with what you have. That's why I have a lot of warm colors here. I have a lot of that's quinacridone gold. This is some different greens, and that's gamboge, and what is that? That is yellow ochre, which I don't use much,